Hey friends, it's Dimitri with Nebraska Streetwear. So here is the roundup of April of last month, and it was a roller coaster of a month, I would say, for me personally. It was just a lot of ups and downs and ups and downs, and as much as I try to optimize things and make things work smoothly, sometimes you just can't fix everything that goes on in business and your daily life. Um, you know, Again, this month I got some weird sickness. The other month I was sick and something happened, some kind of viral infection, and it rolled over, and then I got something wrong with my chest, so I was dealing with that for like 2 weeks. That was very rough. I had to take a bunch of ibuprofens every day, but now I'm all good. And we are into May now, so the sun is out, the bees are flying, the birds are chirping, so I'm really excited for that. And also, May is kind of, well, at least around this region, it's kind of the season where people really start wearing t-shirts. So t-shirt sales typically spike during this kind of season into summer. And then, obviously once we start going into fall, it's more hoodies and jackets and that kind of stuff. So right now, what I basically have done is I am reorienting, refocusing my kind of what I'm trying to make, my sales strategy, to be oriented towards shirts, shorts, that kind of stuff, more hats. And I'm going to kind of put the brakes on hoodies right now and not make as many of those, and crew necks. Especially the past couple months, I made a lot of stock on that. So I'm going to be kind of trying my best to sell that off, push that. Because during summertime, especially at night, people still wear hoodies, and then in other regions around the world, it's still cold over there, and they have their different seasons. So those still sell during the summer, but I kind of focus more on shirts and stuff, that kind of seasonal stuff. So that was my thing. I did reorganize the office. I put a ton of shelves on this wall. They used to be more into the middle, and it's kind of cool because it opened up a lot of space in the office because it gets cramped in here. So that's why I have everything on wheels, because I can reorient everything in the office and change stuff up, and it worked out really well. The unfortunate thing is I had my really cool art wall over there, and now it's gone, and I actually liquidated some of the posters and stuff on my wall. It's kind of cool because I have the Bunker tab on my website, and I sell, posters and artwork and wall art and books and all that kind of stuff on there. And obviously I like to have it here in the office. It's a source of inspiration, but after, half a year, it's nice to switch it up and put new stuff on there. So it's cool that I have, a big enough audience that's into that stuff, and I could just sell off the stuff I don't want anymore, and people will, gladly take it, which is really cool. I found and I made a video about this, just a new way to send out patches and other small items in these smaller bubble envelopes. It's cheaper, so that's a nice cost-saving thing for this month. That was a plus. And then also another plus was I got these beanies. These got made and shipped really fast, which was really cool. I think within a month, the artwork was sent to the files, the sample, and then the shipment of beanies. Really fast, easy. I got all that done. These are selling pretty well. And I've been working on a companion jacket for this as well. It has almost the same label, and it looks really cool. But like I said, with the roller coaster month, they set the sample in, and they totally did not change the hardware, like the buckles and zipper on it. And I was specifically told, I was like, hey, this needs to be this color. And they were like, okay, we're going to make it this color. So they rephrased what I said. And that's kind of the thing that I've been learning, and I emphasize this on this channel. You can have all your ducks in a row, you can be doing everything good, but then there is still other people involved in the process. Let's say employees, vendors, your manufacturers, printers, all those other people. Even if you clearly communicate the message to them, even if they rephrase what you said and they got the message, that doesn't mean that they're gonna deliver exactly what you want. So sometimes that stuff happens. Luckily they're gonna change that. It's just a sample. It's not like an entire batch of clothing. That would be really rough to get the wrong stuff made. Another hiccup that happened this month was back to the whole, you can have your ducks in a row. I sent files to my printer, and I was like, hey, you guys printed this design like half a year ago, and I accidentally, the first time I sent them the wrong file. It was basically a design, the AK-47 design, but it was downsized because I had a wrong file floating around in my system, which I should have got rid of the first time. I didn't even check. So every time you send files, make sure you double check the sizing of it. Even if you think it's the right size, just quickly run it over, check the size, make sure it's not too small or too large before you send it over. So that first batch of clothing was not the correct size at first, and the first time was not their fault, it was my fault. This time around, I sent them an email and I was like, hey, I am sending you a new screen, a new file. This file is resized, it's going to be larger. And I put it in bold, I rephrased it multiple times. The printer was like, oh, so it's around 10 inches, right? And I was like, yes, that's correct. Now what happened was that information did not get to the other guy that was actually making the shirts. So there's the guy I'm emailing, and then he sends that information off to the printers. Printers, they had the old screen that I used before, and it was not sized correct. And they printed, a whole round of t-shirts, and I was like, oh man, why did this happen? So even if like sometimes I try to do everything right and it doesn't always work out, the shirts turned out fine, the printing's fine. It's just with the extra larges and double XLs, the artwork does not look as good because it's not scaled up as well. It looks okay for the smaller sizes, and it still works. I'm still selling them and everything. It's just basically it's like a B plus, but it could be an A plus, so that sucks. I learned something. But what I told them, I was like, it's okay. He's like, oh, we can give you a discount on all this stuff. I was like, it's fine, don't worry about it, but please discard the old screen. So that's a tip for you guys. If you're working through printers or manufacturers, if you have an old screen, but then you update it like with little tweaks, and I've done this multiple times actually. I've updated artwork probably 3 or 4 times, popular sellers, because there was little tweaks and stuff that I just didn't like, or I wanted to do new colorways and it didn't work for the old file. So make sure that you tell your printers to discard the old artwork. Just get rid of the whole screen, because what will happen is even if they listen to you, the chain of command listens to you, but there might be an employee there that has printed that design multiple times, and they're like, oh, okay, we're going to print it again. Here's the file. Here's the screen. They're going to grab the old screen again. That definitely might happen, especially if you have an ongoing relationship with them and you've already been printing the restocks of the same item. So make sure to discard the old one. And even if you're printing yourself and you have your shelf full of your screens, and you might have employees or even yourself, you might forget something like that. So make sure you throw away those old things if you don't need them. So yeah, that was basically April. I didn't accomplish everything I wanted to this month because it was just kind of an off month, but it still wasn't super bad. It's not the end of the world, and I'm really looking forward to May. Even in my personal life, I started my vegetable garden. I got, everything got tilled, and I planted a bunch of stuff like a bunch of vegetables and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for that. I highly recommend, as a personal tip, if you're in the office all day on the computer, manufacturing, doing stuff in this industrial world, I really suggest that you have a hobby or something that's really oriented towards being outside, whether that's gardening, mountain biking, hiking, do that kind of stuff. It really brings a good balance into your life, and mentally it'll just free you up more, and it feels really good, because sometimes I'm in here all day and I just get kind of lost in this little world, and I forget that there's all this beautiful nature outside, and it just helps bring you back into balance. So definitely that's something for your personal life. Get something that balances out your job really well. And I just like to garden and landscape and all that kind of stuff. I planted so much stuff. I made a new clover lawn, all this really cool stuff. Maybe I should make a video about that and I'll show you guys later. Maybe you'll like that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, that was April. It wasn't the worst month. It wasn't the best month. It was just kind of a roller coaster. So anyways, hope you guys like this video, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.